Hello, Jai. How are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you doing this morning?
Excellent, wonderful. I'm so glad that you were able to get on a call with me. I've been really interested in speaking to you more about how you relate to different people, especially strangers and people that you haven't met before. You're so good at just going up and speaking to people, starting a relationship, and then continuing it so that it actually does become a relationship. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about that. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. So I know that you and your partner, Maria, have been visiting several different places around Tucson, different gyms and salons and so on, as well as you've been driving people in an Uber vehicle. And it's so natural and easy for you to begin a conversation. Has it always been that way?
No. It took some used to getting, practice.
Okay, all right, great. Practice is a good word.
Right. Practice, coming out of your shell. A lot of people have, I don't know, they're not confident about talking to other people, embarrassed, you know, low self-esteem when they're talking, until you start building up that self-esteem, and then it becomes natural and don't even think nothing of it after that.
Okay, perfect. So do you feel like you're there now?
Yes, in some areas, in most areas, obviously being the Uber driver, it becomes real easy because you talk to them for anywhere from a minute up to 15 or 20 minutes, depending on how far they're going, and they're either gonna contact you back or they're out of your life. You'll never see them again.
Right?
And so even if you mess up, it's not like anybody else is going to know. It's just you and that one person who's not going to
Right.
know each other. So once you get past that and you're like, okay, I can experiment, and then it's no big deal.
Great, great. And I love how you have used these words practice, experiment, and so on, because it is a learning process. And I don't know if anyone ever gets 100% perfect at starting these conversations and relationships, because there's always particular moments in our life or their life where it doesn't go exactly as planned. But if you don't stress about it, it's not that big of a deal. It's just you're just having a conversation. All
Right.
right. Wonderful. Thank you. And thank you for stating and starting with that. So do you mind telling us a little bit about, let's start with the Uber,
Uh-huh.
and how do you start a conversation with someone?
Okay. Well, when they first come up to the vehicle, and they're getting in, I say, hi, how are you? And they reciprocate that back, and negative or positive, and they typically ask, how was my day? And I say it's good, or I say it's good. Then I turn around once we get everything coordinated where we're going, and then I kind of look at the distance, how far we're going. So then I know how fast I got to speed up the conversation. And sometimes if they're finished, you just kind of base it off. If they're finishing phone calls, conversations, whatever. Then I go, how was your day? And they'll say, well, it was good or bad. And that's when they usually typically reciprocate that back, and they go, how was your day? And that's where you break in. You go, oh, it was great. This morning I started off, it could be something as simple as doing laundry, whatever you want to start out with. And then you go, and then I was selling or talking to other people about nutrition products. I had met several people this morning or this afternoon, whatever it was. And a lot of them at that point, oh yeah, what nutrition product is it? And then it's 100% natural. However, then you break into your spiel of, this is what I do. And that gets them started. And you kind of listen to what their questions are. Or if they just become really silent, then you can kind of, each situation is different, and you kind of go, okay, this person's not really interested. Not a problem. But if somebody's home, they got questions, they're interested, and depending on your time frame, if you're pulling up to your stop, you go, well, hey, here's my card. Here's some, if you want some more information, you can look it up. Just give me a call, and we can go from there. No obligation, and then you go from there. A lot of times, a lot of these rides are less than 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and you get this all in there, and you're handing the card as they're out the door.
Okay. So thank you for that. Some of the biggest questions that I think our team has is, how do you state what you do? And I think you already answered that, but if we can be really clear on that. How do you start that? Well, what do you do outside of Uber driving?
Right now, what I do is I sell nutrition products, or I'm a nutrition coach, however you want to phrase it. I can counsel you on different aspects of what our products can do for you. What I do is I sit down with you, and we find out what your goals are. What is your goals? Is your goals to lose weight? Is it to gain lean muscle? You need more energy. And then we tailor the products that we have towards what you want. And then I said, now here's another difference is, once you get the package, once you order your stuff, we don't just say, hey, you've ordered it, see you later. I'm going to continue on. I'm going to support you through so that you can meet your goals and your objectives, and then transition at that point in time to another goal of yours. Because your goals are going to be constantly being updated and forever changing. So that's how I go through it.
All right, fantastic. And do you get a conversation going with that? Are they responding to you of, oh yeah, I really would like to do this, or I'd like to do that?
Yes, and that is the ones that you know that you kind of got them hooked a little bit, and those are the ones that you're going to hand the cards out to. So those, once they start asking questions, you know, oh yeah, what's your goal? Now, if it's a long ride, if I know it's a long ride, I know it's say 10, 15-minute ride, I'm going to go, what are your goals? If you were able to do anything with your health, what would your first goal be? And they'll be lose weight, whatever. Okay, and then what would your second goal be? Gain muscle, more energy. I said, okay. So I said, currently I am on this program, and this is what I do. And then, so that's where you would start. And then from there, once you've reached your goal of, we'll just say losing weight, you've wanted to make it to 125 pounds. Boom, you're at 125 pounds. Now we're going to transition you from losing weight to gaining lean muscle. I said, it's not just we're going to lose the weight and then we stop, because what happens? If you stop, your body, you start eating again and you're going to balloon right back up. So you need to continuously go with what, from losing weight to now let's get the lean muscle back up, and so that your body is burning all those calories, and it's just a natural transition. And if they don't want to gain lean muscle, say they're happy with their figure, then we need to go into making sure that you're staying with your vitamins, making sure that you're staying healthy with vitamins. In whatever direction they choose, when you get your answers, is how you're going to dictate how you're going to go with the conversation.
Excellent. Wonderful. And I'm assuming during your conversation, you're keeping your answers and questions a little bit more shorter and really listening to, trying to get them to speak more.
Yes.
All right, great. Now, the other question, and you brought this up, and thank you for that, if they're not interested. People are always questioning, where do you go with the conversation if they're silent or they have no interest, and you know that.
If there's no interest, what I do then is, well, what do you do? What do you do for a job? You know, what do you do for work? Because that can lead in again. If they sell stuff, if they are in retail, or if they're college students, I ask them, what courses are you taking? What are you trying to do? Or anything like that. And if they say, oh, I'm in business, oh really? Well, once again, with this product, we also have where you can sell, and you can make money, and become financially free. That's the other direction that I try to take it when they're not a product to use.
Great, excellent. And I'm sorry, I had a little interference happening during that time frame.
Hello.
The joy. Good. And too many people are worried about what to say if they if they don't get a response and they're like, I just don't know how to handle it from there. And I love how you just take it a different direction.
Right.
And it's so that we're not just the salesperson. We're not coming from them of, I just want to sell you on something that you had no interest about. You didn't even know that you were going to pop in a vehicle with me and I'm pushing this down your throat.
Right.
And you make it, you just keep it about them.
Right.
Whatever their interest is, and just make it very natural. And you're just curious about people. Do you feel, Jai, that you honestly are just curious about people?
Yeah. Right. And then what also happens is once you flat out know that they're not interested at all, you kind of also, when you're getting these people, you kind of find out, well, obviously it gives an address of where you're going. Sometimes it gives a name, sometimes it doesn't. And so then you go into, so where are we going today? What you got going on today? You know, and they're like, oh, we're going to eat. So then you can break into the, oh, food, blah, blah, blah. You just keep it about that. You just directly steer away from the nutrition stuff. And, you know, maybe they might open back up about nutrition because they're going to someplace healthy. And you just kind of, it's just really, you're just winging it. And you're just having a basic conversation with people that you would have with a friend about going to eat.
Right. Right. Exactly. Just recommending somewhere to go, something to do. Wonderful. Do you ever feel that you have ever messed up a conversation? And you brought it up earlier. And how do you feel afterwards after doing that? Does it bother you, or you just say, well, all right, I learned from that?
Way back in the day, growing up, I would have worried about it, but now you just like, whatever. I messed it up. You got to learn from it, and there's going to be more customers.
Exactly.
Right now, I've probably, I think last night I hit 350. So I've talked to a minimum of 350. That's with one person paying the bill. So there's times when I'm picking up students at the U of A that I have 6 or 7 people in the car. And they're all just crammed in there. And it's funny. A lot of times those conversations you're not even having about nutrition. You know when they're all going out. You know when people are dressed up. And you also look at what they're wearing, because women like to wear clothes without pockets.
Right. Right.
So if they're just carrying an ID card and a phone, they're not going to take your card. So don't even bother. You just spread, you know, hey, you know, how's your guys' night? Where are we going? You know, what's the big plan for the night? What you guys got going on this week for classes? You just kind of wing it, really.
Right. Oh, I bet you're so much fun for them to get in the car with. I always have, you know, when we're going out, you know, there's a lot of excitement and energy to begin with. And then you get in the car with the Uber driver, and they really add to the experience of starting the whole thing. You've got to be so much fun for them to get in the car with. And I,
oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm here. I appreciate that so much, because as a person in the back seat, it really does make a big difference to how the night goes.
Yes.
Fantastic. Have you started the Facebook Messenger yet, where you connect the two of you to Facebook immediately?
No, I have not done that part. All I've done is give them my card, which has Facebook information on there. It has my email address on there, so I leave it at that point. Now, if there's really interested, that would be the next step, but it's usually tough if they're extremely interested. Most of them are just like, yeah, I'm interested, I'll look up the information, and I'll get contact with you. That's about the majority, so far, what I've come across. It's either not interested, slightly interested, or very interested, but I want to go research myself first. I have not gotten to the point where, boom, I have offered it on 3 or 4 occasions that, hey, even if you're slightly curious, there is a Facebook page that I can link you up with, if that's something you're interested in, and you just go in and you watch all the posts and read up about it. And then at that point in time, if you're interested, you can get in contact with me. I've gotten up to that with about 3 or 4 people, but they were like, no, I'd just rather just go ahead and research the information online. So not a problem.
Great. And I know there is a difference with gender.
Yes.
And as a man, you have to be a little bit more careful about all of that. And so I love how you state that, because coming from a male perspective of just keeping it very low key, giving them the information and not offending them in any way is today's world.
Yes.
And you've played that extremely well. So kudos to you, Jai, for doing that and understanding that and not letting that bother you whatsoever. And it's just building that relationship, and if they want it, they will form it. Now, I will recommend, though, coming from a female perspective, that when the relationship is good and when people really feel that connection, females like to continue that. But
Okay.
you'll have to feel that in between, because also males and females, of course, are very busy, but females have a list of what all we can get done that day, and it may not be at the top of the list necessarily, but it's something that we've wanted. So when that feeling comes about of, oh, there was a really good connection here, and you can maybe even say it or just experiment and get back to us and let us know.
Right.
This is a really good connection. I'm not coming from a personal relationship standpoint. This is from business. But if you're interested, I do a lot of business stuff on my Facebook page. If you want to connect, we can connect very easily right here and now.
Right.
And then,
Okay.
and then just see how they respond, because it's good to kind of have things happen immediately. But if that feeling is there and that connection.
True.
Jai, I would love to get in the car with you, because like I said, it really does make a difference, and you're so much fun and easygoing, and that's what I appreciate when I do get into the car. And I love the conversations, and especially the conversations where I don't have to control it.
Yeah.
It gives me a break to just kind of be me and have fun without having to constantly think. And you're taking that pressure off a lot of people, and probably for the people that are in the back seat, because if there is that uncomfortable silence that people feel, you're
Yes.
taking that away and just making it really nice and easy and relaxed.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's
That's something that we can do anywhere and everywhere. And I know, and we'll just jump in really quickly and relate this to what you and Maria are doing when you guys are going into the businesses and having these conversations. How does that conversation differ from the Uber driving?
That one's just a little bit different, because now you're going into their business, and this is their world, and you're the stranger coming in, and as soon as you start asking a question, they're like, okay, what is this person trying to sell? I don't, their the initial attitude is going to be negative. That's for I'd say about 90% of the places that you go into. And what you do is go in, and you're just trying to be as polite as possible, and you can ask them something simple. Do you allow people to put business cards in your facility? Or when you go in, you scan everything right away. I'm looking, if I'm going to the fitness center, I'm looking, do they have products on the shelves? If they got products on the shelves, I know 95% of conversation is going to go no, but you still ask. And then once you ask, hey, do you allow people to put business cards here? And typically they'll go, well, what kind of business card is it? Or what do you do? Well, I'm a nutrition coach, or I sell nutrition products. And they're like, no, we already have our nutrition products. Or yes, you can go ahead and put a card up over there. And then, or we'll take the card. Okay, well, here's your card. Just give it to your associates. I never say, can you sell a product in this place? I always say, another question I ask is, would your associates be interested in another nutrition product? So I take it towards the associates more than the actual, never to the patrons. Never say to the patrons. It's only to the associates, the trainers, because once you start messing with their clients, that's when they're going to flat out, you need to leave type thing.
They're very protective of their clients or patients or whoever you're working with. So it's good for you to recognize that and to state that today. so that we help the team understand that, make it about them and their referrals, but not necessarily their patients, which too many people want to go that direction, because that's ultimately what we want, because those are the big numbers. But it's building that relationship and trust first before thinking large, or I don't want to say thinking large, because think large, but don't react large.
Right.
React in a very small way to build that relationship, build that trust and love and respect, and then it just grows organically.
Right. And then the key factor is the follow-up. You can schedule some follow-ups depending on who they are and what type of company they are. Like if it's an owner of a salon that's very busy, schedule a follow-up. Or just say, hey, I'm going to stop in 2 weeks on this Friday in the afternoon. I'm just going to come in and say hi, see how things are going. You know, just kind of let them know. That way when they see you, they know you're only going to be there a couple minutes. Other places you don't have to schedule. You just come in and just tell them, hey, I'll be back in a couple weeks. You come in. All you're doing is checking to see if you need to replenish the cards. So let's say if you gave them 10 cards and you see that there's only 2, that's a good sign. And then you give them give them back some more cards. And then you let them know, well, thanks for letting me put the cards here. If you have any questions or anybody has any questions at all, just feel free to give me a call. Or you guys have any questions right now? And then that's how you kind of lead into right now. And if not, then okay, well, I'll be back in a couple weeks. See you guys then, and have a great couple weeks. And if it's like Friday, have a great weekend, or however you want to end it. But you always end it on a positive, letting them know that you're going to come back.
Beautiful. And I know you guys are great at that. You and Maria absolutely do the follow-up, and that's where we know the fortune is. The fortune is in the follow-up, not that initial conversation. Excellent. Right. Have you guys offered any type of service to them, like a nutrition class or a tasting, or something where you can provide them a service for free that they can offer to anyone else?
No, we have not on a grand scale as of yet. We are looking at doing that. We're looking at doing the replenish. If we find a trainer that's interested, and after whether if they're doing Zumba or aerobics of any style, then we could come in with replenish and have the drinks available prior, during, and after their session. We have not done that on a grand scale as far as that is concerned as of yet. We've done it more on small scale. I in the beginning with Uber, I would, or even with Maria going around, we'd offer, well, here's a sample of a shake. Well, I've kind of found out that we're just kind of wasting our product at that point. You kind of want to do that when you've had more than one conversation with a person. So if you've had multiple conversations about nutrition and they're generally interested, then okay, here is a sample. Or if they're a longtime friend, not a problem, here's a sample.
Right.
But if it's just one person that you met for 5 minutes, no, it's better off giving your card. If they contact you back, then let's go for a sample.
Exactly. I absolutely agree. I love replenish if you're going to do samples versus in a shake, because a shake, you never know how people are going to react and if they actually do it. A replenish is here, drink this right now, and you'll have a fantastic evening. As far as anything I can control. I know salons, something that has gone well with both salons and with gyms, is if they have those big jugs and containers, maybe not the super big ones, but a decent, comfortable size. And then they can fill that and have like a customer appreciation drink. And then just provide, or have them provide little Dixie cups, and they can just have a little sample, and you can state what it is and please see me for more information. And then that way they have a little drink while they sit down and then kind of relax. That's good to kind of mix a little replenish and ionics together too.
Yes.
Calm down.
Yes. And the best places to do that part are the salons for their grand openings.
Yeah.
Their grand openings, or they'll have, their 5 years opening, whatever their anniversary is. Because once you get into some of these salons, and we're actually going to be doing that here I think the 22nd, the last date I was told for a salon. Right. And you go in, it's their first anniversary. So you'll put that in the corner, like you said, and you're there monitoring it, but yet you're standing away.
Yeah.
You can randomly go around, hey, was that good? Was that good? And you can get instant feedback. oh man, this was great, or no, I didn't like it. And oh, this was great. Well, then you start, there's your conversation starter. If it's not, then let it go.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, you and Maria are such excellent business partners to kind of feedback on. I know it's fun having a business partner to do that with. Takes away a lot of pressure, and it makes it a little bit more fun for everybody. But you're just so relaxed in general, Jai, that so easy to talk to. And I appreciate you saying in the beginning that took practice and some experimentation. It wasn't like you were just like this naturally and immediately. You put forth effort to become that person that's just so open and willing and easy to speak to. And you have accomplished that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. Is there anything else you would like to share with the team on how to do conversations, or it's just time to go? Time to do it.
You got to get out there and do it. It takes time and patience on your part. You're going to mess up. Don't worry about it. If you look at all the big speakers in the world, they've all messed up many, many times before they even got to that point. And even at this point, they still mess up.
Right.
I mean, look at the government, how many times they're up in front of people speaking, and you see how often on the news they mess up. You just got to keep going. So don't worry about it. You're not at that level. You're not in front of a billion people. You're in front of one person, maybe a couple, 3 or 4. That's it. Just got to get out there and do it and enjoy it.
Right. Oh, good. I love that. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Just be curious about people, love the conversation, be in tuned as to what they're saying, and enjoy the moment.
Yeah. Enjoy the moment. You never know. You might need something from them instead.
Right. Right. We were all meant to cross paths. It's just a matter of what we do with it.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Jai. I really appreciate your time and attention today, and the information that you've spread out to everyone has been very helpful and will really give people a lot of tips. So I appreciate that. If anyone has any questions and you want to state it, please definitely talk to Jai. He really is becoming an expert at relationship building, and we're grateful and blessed to have you here.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Jai. We'll be talking to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye.